wish people could see what I saw that night.
It melted my mind. Nothing that I know on earth moves like this thing.
I first see this thing, it's just absolute terror.
From remote regions to quiet towns, reports are emerging of terrifying creatures that defy explanation and belief.
And I hear something moving out in our camp. And my dad does this, like, immediately.
Now, the quest for answers begins. MonsterQuest unravels the mysteries behind these chilling accounts. Each tightly themed episode explores multiple stories.
That night, it hunted us down. This is kill or be killed.
The creature, over 8.5 feet tall, huge 4.5-foot shoulders, coming up the ridge towards me. I was petrified.
We'll deepen each eyewitness account
We seen this black, hairy figure, 9 or 10 feet tall.
with compelling evidence, gripping interviews, and suspenseful recreations. These extraordinary encounters are brought to life like never before, challenging you to rethink what's possible. Between the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers on the eastern border of Kentucky is what appears to be a lush and tranquil stretch of paradise. Land Between the Lakes National Park, or LBL, is 267 miles of remote wilderness trapped between two massive lakes, harboring a dark secret.
Since it opened in 1963, the park has had a huge draw. It's attracted over 2 million guests a year. However, as time went on, events started to be reported that were a little unsettling. And by 1980, people actually start going missing in the park or are found dead there.
Newspaper articles and death certificates attribute a number of deaths to an unknown animal. Locals refer to this animal as the Beast of LBL.
Over the years, many report seeing a tall, muscular creature that walks on two legs with glowing eyes, covered in dark fur with high, pointy ears.
Even though these stories exist, many swear that the Beast of LBL is merely legend. And before a hunting trip in 1993, former Sheriff's Deputy Martin Groves was one of them.
They hired me in 1987, and I had been a deputy sheriff here for quite a spell. In 1993, one of my hunting partners, Harry, we were both deputies on the same shift, we had decided to come to Land Between the Lakes for a turkey hunt. Law enforcement is a very stressful job, so we wanted a few days off and lay the badges down and to walk away. We always hunted alone when turkey hunting. He went one way and I went the opposite direction, traveled many miles from camp. I got tired, so I took me a break. I heard a vehicle come in. As this other hunter pulls up in a little pickup truck, gets out of the vehicle, and we get to talking, and it turned out that he was actually a fireman.
The fireman issues Martin a friendly warning.
And he says, "Let me tell you something. I've been having something come into my camp at night. It doesn't get close enough for me to see what it is, and it seems to circle just outside the glow of my small campfire." And he said, "It's probably nothing, but I thought I'd better just part that with you." Being young and overconfident in myself, I didn't pay attention to the man. I ignored all the warning signs. I started headed back towards camp. That's when I think I got my education. Just starting to get late. It wasn't dusk yet, but it was beginning. That's when I began to notice something is paralleling me in the woods. I felt something to the right side of my body. I'm thinking, okay, we got some coyotes in the woods, no big deal. But as I walk and I'm watching these things, they look bigger than a regular sized coyote. What flipped me out was this. When I stopped, they stopped. When I began to walk, within a second or two, it began to pursue me. I brisked my walk and I started walking real fast. That's when the game plan changed. I was no longer the hunter, I was being hunted.
It is dark when he meets back up with Harry, who has already set up camp, prepared dinner, and lit a fire. But it's what's missing that catches Martin's attention.
It was eerily quiet. There was no noise, no insect noise, no sparrows. All of a sudden, I see what I think behind that tree is a man smoking a cigarette. And I say, hey man, this ain't cool. You don't come into man's camp at night. Come out from behind the tree. That's when the growling begins. The growl is so intense, we're frozen. And what my eyes saw, it could not exist. This thing was massive, between 6 and 8 feet tall. I was so frightened that I didn't know what to do. I was battle hardened. I'd seen every kind of homicide you could imagine. It turned me into a child.
Frozen in place, he is unable to reach his service weapon, his only real hope for survival.
And I began to recite David's prayer, I shall fear no evil. The Lord is my shepherd, and the more that I prayed in my mind, the stronger I became. I was able to move my lips and to speak. I began to feel a lot more strength. I was able to move my hands. At that point, that's when I drew my firearm and I used it. We hear a scream, and it sounds like a pig squealing. I mean, it's hideous. Harry picks up some stuff and we're running back to this truck. As he tears out of here, that's when I see everything in the camp. This thing was tearing that camp to pieces.
As Martin reflects on the events of the evening, he comes to a difficult decision. As an officer of the law, Martin must report any discharge of his service weapon.
My hunting partner didn't want to report this. He wanted to forget about this whole situation ever happened, but I've used my firearm. I'm the type of individual that I follow the law to the letter. Tell the truth, tell everything, whatever, no matter how bad it is, you report it.
But on their way to making the report, there is a commotion.
We get about a half mile, there's a string of emergency vehicles. 2 hunters had found the fireman's camp that morning. They discovered his dead body. And he died, man.
According to Martin, officers at the scene believed that something had gotten to the fireman in the night and savagely taken his life.
It's very hard to conceive for me, even after everything I've seen as a police officer, when that man drove away from me, that I could be the last man that's seen this hunter alive.
Martin is one of the many people in the area who claim to have witnessed the beast of LBL. Even though there have been dozens of sightings of the same creature, the U.S. Forestry Service issued a formal statement in 2020 saying there's no credible evidence that the beast of LBL really exists.
The information and the evidence is out there. You just have to have an open mind that there is other things out there that we do not understand.
This season on MonsterQuest.
This thing walked out of the corn. Hearts just boom, 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 boom. This was absolutely a predator
I actually felt kind of like the mouse staring down a snake. You can't comprehend of things that you've never seen or heard of before.
Felt like I'd walked into a trap, and now I was in their world.
I'm on the bed just looking at the door, and then it just starts. The only thing holding the door closed is a chain lock.
I saw a hand, arm, shoulder fly up and over. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It had searing red eyes. I mean, none of it looked human. That's when the real panic started to set in of like, I'm gonna die.
There's something unnatural happening here. What is this?
Mysteries beyond our reality are now within reach.